challenges for women, in terms of any career, I feel they are more or less the same across the globe.
Okay.
Because, with the evolving everything, like we are evolving in technology, science every day. But I believe that somehow that, gender role responsibilities, that concept has not evolved in its complete terms. I think everywhere across the world. India being, more of a patriarchal society, yes, the challenges are even more. And I would say that I was lucky enough not to face those challenges to a large extent because my father was in a defense forces. So yes, those kind of pressures was not there from the family. Yes, the extended family, they did have certain reservations, but lucky enough to have parents who did not bother about the chachas and tayas and all those things, that they said whatever you want to achieve, it's up to you. If you think you can do it, go ahead.
So, Kiran, why did you decide to join Indian Army?
Okay, I believe it was not an overnight thought that I had, and to be very honest, it was not something that was growing up since childhood. It was, I would say, in the process of exploring myself or the careers that would be suitable for me. I had a chance encounter, and I believe I was in second or third year of my engineering, wherein I first saw an advertisement in the newspaper to join Indian Air Force. I was always a die-hard fan of joining Air Force. So I thought, okay, let's give a chance. And I went for AFSB Varanasi. I did not get selected there, but the vibes which I got there and the environment which was there, the air was full of energy. The aura of that institute was such that I made up my mind that this is something that I want to be where, and it is definitely going to make me happy. So that's when I started training myself and preparing for getting into the services.
So, do you come from an army background?
Yes, my father was in Air Force. He had 37 years of service in Air Force before retiring. And it was him, the way I used to see him dress up every day in the morning, that inspiration was always definitely from him. And then, we had stayed in all those Air Force stations. So yeah, that background did help me. It did sow a seed that yes, this can be my career sometime, someday.
Interesting. So, I've met so many defense professionals. I have so many friends. So they say, what happens if you have a family background, you kind of live that life every day. So that inspires you to kind of take those decisions. So is it like that?
Well, yes and no, because
Okay.
obviously the inspiration was there from there, and I thought that life is going to be the same. But what happens when you get selected and when you actually face the life, it's completely different.
Okay.
Like the grass is always greener on the other side, and you get to see only one facet of it. And when you actually join, you get to see, no, it's not that rosy and easy. You have to work your way hard to achieve things. So the inspiration does come from there, but yes, to be able to say that you can apply the same principles thereafter, no, it is not the same. It takes a lot more than that.
So is it because it's ever evolving, landscape of defense that's what changes?
Yes, everything changes. See, you see it from point of view of being a kid. You see only the good part of it. Like you see the uniform, the respect that you command, the glory of it. But to achieve all those things, you don't see the hard work that people put in there. You don't see them, shedding their sweat and blood and working 24/7. Like it's not a 9 to 5 job, it's a 24/7 job. So yeah, that's the changing dynamics of everyday work life. That's what makes the difference.
And being a woman, do you think it's challenging?
Definitely, it is challenging, since, the way we have been in India, the society, how it has been, the mental conditioning that we all have been subjected to. Yes, it definitely becomes challenging, not even physically, but, also mentally, emotionally, in all aspects. It is challenging. But I believe with, with practice, training, hard work, it's easier to accomplish. There's no rocket science about it.
I understand. So one word that defines you.
Okay, why do you want to do that to me? One word. Okay, I think, it's too criminal to define somebody in one word, but if given a chance, I would choose resilient. I think resilient is one word that I would like to, define myself closely with, because I feel that, I've always been so upcoming with all the challenges, all the changes, that I've been subjected to, and I feel I'm strong enough to handle them. All the situations have been such that, I have been able to easily tackle them and, get over with them. So yeah, resilience is something that has always been there, being the eldest in my family, also because of the fact, and also because of my training, my changing places every few years, changing schools, changing friends. So the environment has been helpful, in making it stronger that ways. So yeah, I think it closely describes me.
It very much describes you, considering the kind of achievements you have had in your career. So it
Yes.
definitely kind of defines it correctly. So one moment that you feel has changed your life, and why?
Okay, I feel there have been so many moments. Like one was, the day I decided to join army, that
Okay.
AFSB Varanasi. That was one defining moment because it changed the future course of my entire life. I would not
Mhm.
have been at the same place where I am today. But apart from that, I think every major milestone, like, since childhood, like the first day I stepped out of my house to go to school, that was the first day wherein I changed my life. I got out of my comfort zone, staying away from parents and home for 4 years, 4 hours. Thereafter, the first day of your college, when you step into a new world, you're in the hostel, with all the seniors, having a hawkeye on you, new teachers, new professors, new friends, new environment. So that was also one changing moment for my life. Thereafter, I believe the SSB, first SSB experience which I had, which had a major impact in my life. The first day of my training, it was again, an introduction into the new set of challenges. The first time we have to, shave off your head, and then you step into the training academy. So that was also one of the changing, life changing moments. And after that, I think when I got commissioned into my unit, so all the first things in your life, also on personal level, I would say getting married was a big change in your life, in your routine. Becoming a parent, I would say. So all these major milestones of life, I think that's why they are called milestones, because they change your life, the future course of your life forever. So I would describe all of them as changing.
So I didn't know that you're supposed to shave off your hair.
Yeah, it's zero cut almost.
For females also.
Yes, except for the Khalsa candidates,
Mhm.
everybody else have to. You cannot have any restriction coming in your way of training.
Wow, this is
Yeah.
incredible. This is an eye
Yes.
opener for me. I thought, like in police, you can just roll up your and create a bun and have that.
That's afterwards, after the training is completed, that you have to do that. But before that, you have to be like, you have to be similar to everybody, because the hair will ultimately, make you focus less on your attention. You'll be worried, my hair are getting dirty. You will not get time to wash them. So that's why it's better to shave them off.
Wow, this is interesting insight. You know how
Yes.
distractions can happen because of some
Yes.
things in your training. Wow, this
Yes.
is interesting. Joining defense is a revolutionary and challenging decision for anyone, and especially women. And considering the way you said there are stereotypes, there are biases that we have in our society. So, do you think the challenges that Indian demographics faces is the same across the globe, or it is different?
So, first, I would like to say that challenges for women, in terms of any career, I feel they are more or less the same across the globe.
Okay.
Because, with the evolving everything, like we are evolving in technology, science every day. But I believe that somehow that, gender role responsibilities, that concept has not evolved in its complete terms. I think everywhere across the world. India being, more of a patriarchal society, yes, the challenges are even more. And I would say that I was lucky enough not to face those challenges to a large extent because my father was in a defense forces. So yes, those kind of pressures was not there from the family. Yes, the extended family, they did have certain reservations, but lucky enough to have parents who did not bother about the chachas and tayas and all those things, that they said whatever you want to achieve, it's up to you. If you think you can do it, go ahead. So yeah, those challenges were there, and I would say since the path was already set for us, like I joined in 2012. The entry for the women started somewhere in 1990s, 91. So yes, for those people, for those women, the batch of women officers, the first batch, it was kind of revolutionary, and they had to really work hard, to get into it. So yes, India has had that revolutionary phase, sometime 20, 30 years back. But for people like us, even 10 years back, the entry was restricted, like we could get only the short service commission. Yeah, and accordingly, the challenges were also a bit reduced. But hats off to the people who were there in the first batch of those entry. They really had a lot of hard work to do, from convincing their parents to convincing the instructors in the training academy of their caliber. That was something commendable, which paved
Interesting.
path for us. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Are you scared of anything? Do you find yourself vulnerable sometimes?
Okay, why do you want me to be scared? I don't want to be scared of anything. See, I would not say scared, scared. I would not use the word scared because there are two things, like materialistic things, and then there are bigger things in life. Sometimes you feel, oh, I've lost so much of money, I'm really worried. What if I lose more? Oh, I've lost that property, shares prices are going down. All those things, So these are very small things in life to be scared of, So I believe that if at all one must be scared of, it should be, the bigger things like the values, So I'm scared of, not being able to, live up to the values of what my parents or my family, expects me to, not being able to, fulfill something which is, a moral responsibility of a citizen. So those are the kinds of things which I feel that, I should be able to do. And if I feel that I'm lacking somewhere, yeah, that makes me think that maybe I'm not capable or something. But otherwise, I don't think you need to be scared of anything till the time you're not doing anything wrong. So I should be confident, and not getting scared of things. That's it.
You have shared an interesting viewpoint about materialistic pleasures that we have, and that the aspirational value system that we inculcate. So, in army, right, especially when you kind of go through such rigorous training, right? So, how, because it's a high risk job, right? How they train you to, have that heart of steel?
Okay, I believe the first thing that you get to learn and understand is that always follow what is being said. So kind of, not in literal terms, but you kind of have to shut off your brain and just follow the commands, because that is the first thing that you'll be expected to in times of war. A person who cannot follow the orders of his senior is no good to go to war, right? Because in times of peace and in times of prosperity, if you're not able to follow the commands, it's very unlikely that in times of such chaos you'll be able to follow the directions. So that's the first thing that is ingrained into your minds.
Okay,
right?
interesting.
And the second thing is, if you ever have a doubt, then go back to the first thing again. So you
Okay.
don't have to think, yeah, and the way when you start practicing it on a daily basis, it makes you kind of, think that this is what I have to do. It is ingrained in your mind, in your training, in your routine, that suppose a child, since childhood, he's told this is right and this is correct, this is right and this is wrong, right? So that is what happens there also. When you continuously keep telling somebody this is correct, this is correct, and this is wrong, you automatically absorb it. And then, the only option that you have uh, is to follow it. And when your mind is so focused on this following one thing, you automatically got to be strong. You don't have time, or you don't have option to think elsewhere. The second thing I believe is that the routine is such, rigorous. It keeps you occupied all the time. You're always busy doing something, that there's no point that your mind will wander here and there. And when your mind is focused and busy, that's what we call a strong mind, right? Because it's not wandering here and there. So yes,
Mhm.
apart from that, the training, additional, exercise and everything, it keeps you grounded. So all these things combined, they make you a strong person, both mentally and physically.
So I'm curious to know, since you kind of are trained to learn and follow daily routine or higher commands. So how do you, decide those crucial things? Like how do you take decisions? Like sometimes you have to take very important, crucial decisions when you are leading something or when you are supervising something. So this thing of decision making, how does that come?
Okay, so see, there are things that you are taught, like there's a bookish knowledge that you are given, and there are things which you experience on ground, right?
Hmm.
So the best scenario is that whatever you have studied, and you just have to go and apply it on ground. That is the ideal case, which
Hmm.
does not happen 99% of the time.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that I'm not saying that you just don't use that knowledge, but that is how your ability to analyze what you have studied or what has been taught to you, and then apply it in the situation in the manner which best fits that situation,
Hmm.
so that that decision is on the person who is there on the ground. He is the ultimate commander there, and he has to take that decision which is in the best interest of all, considering what has been taught and what is the ideal case.
Hmm.
So I believe that is, that is what they look for in you when they select you, that whether, when the situations change or when it is not the ideal case scenario, how best you apply your knowledge. That is called as the application of the, knowledge that you have gained. So yes, that's where your application part comes, and that will only come if you have understood the concept clearly. So
Hmm.
everything combined makes that one decision, which may take just a second to implement, but the reason and the logic behind that decision comes from your years of experience and practice and gaining knowledge. Everything combines there.
So in simple words, you're saying practice, practice, practice. It becomes still becomes your DNA.
Yes, practice it, try to implement it. You may make a mistake. It's okay. Everybody makes mistake, but learn from it and then reapply it, or then, change the course of, action. All these things will help.
Interesting. Have you ever faced any stereotypes or biases as a woman?
Biases, as in career, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
as a
or
woman, like
otherwise, yeah, as a
otherwise
woman.
also.
Okay, so bias, I would say, not much, because yeah, maybe till school, college, there were biases. See what happened now, that till 10 years back, this concept of feminism or bias or gender stereotype, it was not as prominent as it has become in last 3 4 years. So maybe even if we faced biases while I was in school, college, I never paid attention to it.
Mm.
And yeah, I would say when I started my career, bias was never there still even there, because army never takes any biases, not in training, not in understanding of you as an officer, neither in behaving with you. So we were trained almost equally at par with the gentlemen cadets who are there in our academy, except for the medical standards, which are obviously different for both male and female trainings. There was no bias for anybody. Yes, stereotype, I would say normal human tendency that they have that, okay, she's a woman, she may not be able to, do this or may not be able to handle this. Will she be able to cope up the emotional challenges? Like people have their notions, right? And I feel somewhere we as women, we also have those notions. Just the fact that we don't express them and the others express it. So yeah, stereotypes, I would say in the initial stage of my career, I did have some. But I believe as and when people came to know me or, they observed the way I work, the professionalism that I executed, the kind of behavior that I shown, I believe it all went away. It was just a matter of initial few years. And I feel that's okay. It's part of being human, and everybody has. I believe even we as women have certain stereotypes. For yeah, so I will not, highlight it too much. But yes, it was normal.
So are we our biggest critics?
I feel yes. I feel yes, I have seen that because maybe the reason that I find ourselves our biggest critic is that we are sort of born perfectionists, sort of, or we like to do things in a very perfect manner, clear manner, no ambiguities or anything. So that's how we end up being our own critics most of the times.
Hmm. And do we chase, the way you said, perfectionism? So do we chase things endlessly till we have some bleak idea of how we need to deliver it? So do you think that's something that all women do?
It's actually basically personality oriented. I would not say only women, but yeah, it's personality oriented. Even men I have seen chasing perfection to the end and having such ideas. So here I would not say that it's all women oriented. It's personality oriented. So people have that perception in their mind, and that's okay as long as it is not harming anybody. I feel it should be okay.
Great. So, Kiran, tell me, how do you keep yourself motivated in your low times?
That's a very good question that if faced me with. See, I think the biggest motivation that you get every day, when you're working, is that you have something to look up to, right? You have your goals set up for the day. Okay, today I am, thankful to God for a good day, and I'm going to achieve this, and then going to achieve, my next days. What are my targets for next day? So this is what keeps you, going, keeps you going ahead, and keeps you motivated. Apart from the work front, I believe, family is your biggest motivation. The kind of support, the comfort that you get from them, it acts as a very big motivation for you to keep doing good, not only in your career, not only with your family, but general in the world. As a human being, you must always try to keep good, and when you do good, then you get good things in return, and it becomes a cycle. So it acts as a cycle of good things you are doing, and they are coming back to you. So I think the environment also motivates you in certain way if you're doing good.
What makes a woman powerful?
What makes a woman powerful? There are so many things that makes us powerful. The very fact that God has given us this power of nurturing, it's the single most thing that I feel that makes you powerful. And apart from that, the inherent empathy, the kindness that we have towards everything, the approach that we take in handling things, the perfect manner in which we balance things out, be it our career or our family, or our social engagements, everything that makes us all so powerful. That I'm not saying that the males can't do it, but I feel that women are more naturally inclined to doing it better. So yeah, that makes us all powerful.
So you were nominated for insurgency and warfare, jungle warfare school of India. It's one of the prestigious courses in India. Tell us something about it. What did you unlearn and relearn there?
Okay, so I'll tell you something about CIJW Warangte. It is in the state of Mizoram. and it is one of the world's most prestigious counterterrorism training schools, wherein I believe more than 6 to 7 thousand soldiers and officers, they get trained every year, and not only from India, from other countries, UK, USA, Israel, Mongolia, all the other countries, they send their training contingents there.
Wow, I didn't know this. I thought
Yeah.
it's an Indian thing.
No, we get, like in our academies, we get cadets from other nations who get trained friendly foreign countries. Same is with that school. And it has amazing training infrastructure, 13 to 15 different kinds of firing ranges, tactical lessons, everything is, just class apart. And that's how it has come to be known as world renowned. And I was lucky enough that I was given this opportunity from my unit to go there, get trained, train my team with along with me. And subsequently, upon the unit's arrival, I was about to, I was able to train them as well. So it was a very good opportunity. You get to test your limits there. The things which I never knew I could be able to, achieve, I was able to, because of the opportunity that I was given and the environment that is there. The one thing which is very famously said there by the instructors, that CIJW के अंदर training कभी नहीं रुकती है. Like in a normal, yeah, training institution, if it's raining, it's raining like cats and dogs, you would not have PT that day. You would have indoor things that day, so no outdoors. But it doesn't happen so in CIJW. If it is raining, whatever your schedule is there, you have to go ahead with that. I still remember having 3 pairs of combat shoes, and all of them were wet, and I was still running the whole day because there was no option. Nobody would listen to you. So it makes you,
Mentally
overcome your,
tough.
yes, mentally tough, and physically you become so resilient that you feel that, there are things that you feel, oh, my shoes are wet, how am I going to go for a run? No, you break that barrier that nothing happens. Even if your shoes are wet, you can absolutely go and do anything. So, the small changes and challenges that they face you with, that was something very extraordinary. And then, it also, taught me like how to come over the conventional warfare things. Like all the other institutes, they teach you how to have a conventional warfare training and tactics. Counterterrorism school, it tells you how to fight in an unconventional environment, like a guerrilla warfare tactics that they teach you. So that's the best part of it. Also, I believe that, since I'm a woman officer, and as of now there is no opening for us in an infantry arm, so the closest that I could ever go and see how infantry works was there. You see actually how to lay an ambush, how you sit in an ambush, how you go on patrolling, how you find out a hideout of terrorist, how you engage in a close quarter battle with a terrorist, all these things. So it was an enriching experience, I believe.
How long is the course?
See, it's not a course, it was basically a training. So I went there with my training team for a month. But somehow it got extended to 4 months because the rest of the team, which was to follow up, got delayed. So had 4 months of training there because nobody would let you sit. Even if your training is done, you have to start again with the next batch. So yeah, that was good that ways.
That's phenomenal. Being a woman and overcoming your physical, emotional. That too, obviously, you're trained when you're defense. But
Yeah.
terrorism, managing this kind of a warfare, we know that terrorism is at a very different scale, right? It's more like guerrilla warfare, as you rightly said, very unpredictable. Don't know what they are up to. It's not very planned. So how do you think in the moment? It's very VUCA in nature. So how do you think in the moment and apply yourself, and physically and emotionally you are charged up to kind of overcome all your fears and deliver results? It's phenomenal.
Thanks.
So Major Kiran, I would like to understand from you, are there any mistakes? Like if I ask you, what are the 3 biggest mistakes of your life, and given a chance today, how would you change?
Well, I am a person who commits mistake on a daily basis, if not
Okay.
hourly. I would
Okay.
say that, yeah, because whatever goes wrong, then you feel, oh, that was a mistake. I should not have done it like that. But yeah, on a broader front, I would say, the things which matter in those terms, I would say that I sometimes feel that I used to take others' validation, in order to self assure myself that I am doing correct or not. So I think that was one thing which now I am trying to change, and I think I would further like to change it, because what happens that as a woman, maybe it was inherent in me or what, that I would always seek for validation. Okay, am I looking good? Am I doing good? Am I expected to be like this? Is it's everything okay if I don't do something? So we I would always seek other people's way viewpoint on my actions, which now I feel was not necessary every time. As long as I am professionally competent and doing things as per the set procedure, I did not have to do that. But maybe that was something which I would change now. Also, I feel that sometimes what happens that in that age of your academics and your career, or in your quite young attitude stage, you tend to give lesser importance to your family and friends and more importance to your work. Like meeting a deadline becomes more important than attending a call from your parents. So now I feel that I have changed it, and I feel that I should give time for things that add more value to my life, rather than just running behind work deadlines and targets and achieving some projects. So yes, I think these are the two important mistakes which I feel I should not have been doing over a period of time, and I'm trying my best to avoid them now.
You're
Yeah,
saying that work and life has to be managed in such a way that even though
yes,
work is part of your life, but you need to know how to balance it out.
yes, I think that's important.
Uh, so the last thing that I would like you to kind of share with the young girls who would like to choose army, what's so special about the recent initiatives that defense um, professionals have kind of undergone? So anything that you would like to kind of share with the young girls?
Yes, I feel that, first of all, anybody who's wanting or aspiring to be an army officer should be very clear with this thing, that army is not like any other career. First of all, it should not be considered as a career at all in terms of monetary benefits. It is something, people say army is a way of life. I feel it is way beyond that. I feel it's an entire belief system in itself. I cannot equate it to a religion, but I feel that it is like a religious belief system, like like you have Hinduism, you have Christianity or Muslim. Such that is what I equate army to. It's in entirety of its own. You get a complete transformation when you join this, right? And for this, you won't get trained anywhere outside. Like the students, they get internship in their colleges, before joining the company, to know what are the skill sets required for it, what is the work culture there. But for army, it is not like that. You don't have any internship. You either join it or you don't join it, right? And it is something which will make you more disciplined in life. It will make you value things which are important in a broader aspect. Of course, respect and all those things come along with it, but a sense of duty that is there, it will instill in you. And more so, it will definitely make you a better citizen to our nation. So all these things, if they inspire you, if you look up to all these values and things, yeah, please do join, because then you'll be happy. Otherwise, you won't be happy here, and the organization will also lose out. So it's better that they take an informed decision. And for anybody who values all these principles, it is a great organization for them, and they must definitely try this out.
Wow. So here, thank you so much for sharing these valuable insights. We come to the last and the final section, rapid fire. So one
Oh,
word for all this.
yeah, sure.
Courage.
I feel conviction you require for having courage.
Family.
Family is comfort, gives you comfort.
Peace.
Peace brings prosperity. So, prosperity,
Power.
responsibility,
Intuition.
guide. My intuition has always been guiding light for me. So, it guides you.
Fair.
Sorry?
Fair.
Fair. I feel God. I think God is always fair in all his dealings. So, I would, relate it to God.
Growth.
Progress.
India.
Pride. India is pride always.
Thank you so much, Major Kiran. It was lovely chatting up with you and having this candid, heartfelt conversation. Thank you so much for inspiring all the young women who would like to be like you.
Thanks, Monica. Thank you so much for having me here. And it was wonderful chatting with you. And I would just, like to admit that you guys are doing a wonderful job. It's a great initiative, to inspire people and just keep doing the good work. Thanks.
Yes, and I would request all our viewers to subscribe our channel and keep listening to such interesting stories. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.